May it please the court? Your Honor, opposing counsel, Ms. Bowman, members of the jury. Whit Bowman provided the plan, Whit Bowman provided the knife, and Whit Bowman provided the means to escape. Today you learned that on August 30th, 2010, Rockdale World was robbed by one of its employees named Cameron Poole. You learned that Cameron Poole went and threatened the ticket booth operator Haley Floyd with a knife, took the money from the ticket booth, and then ran through Rockdale World. You learned that on that day, Cameron Poole escaped through a ride known as the Tunnel of Terror, a ride that the defendant was operating at that time. You learned that the defendant put the ride into blackout mode, and because of that, Cameron Poole was able to escape. Now, members of the jury, the prosecution has come before you charging Ms. Bowman with two separate counts. First, we are charging Ms. Bowman with theft by deception. We are also charging Ms. Bowman with robbery in the first degree against Haley Floyd. But let's look at those one at a time. First, theft by deception. In order to prove theft by deception, we must prove that Whit Bowman, either alone or acting in complicity, robbed Rockdale World of cash or property valued at $500 or more by creating a false impression. Well, today you heard lots of evidence about a wristband scheme that was going on at Rockdale World. How Cameron Poole would take wristbands for the world tour, ring them up as standard admission prices, sell them, and then pocket the extra $15. You heard today from J.C. Longstreet, the CEO of the company, that because of that, $42,000 was missing from May to August of 2010. You learned that on that day, or you learned from the profit and loss sheet that 2,850 tickets were missing, and that added up to the $42,000 that was stolen from Rockdale World that summer. You heard on cross-examination today that Ms. Bowman knew about the scheme that was going on, and that the bracelets were part of her and Cameron Poole's stash, and that the bracelets they had gotten together was what was used to take part in the scheme. So was Ms. Bowman acting with complicity in order to steal $500 and more from Rockdale World? The answer is yes. Because of that, the prosecution has proved our first charge of theft by deception. Now, the second charge that we brought forth on Ms. Bowman was robbery in the first degree. And to prove robbery in the first degree, we must prove that Whit Bowman, either acting alone or in complicity, threatened the use of force on Haley Floyd with the intent to rob Rockdale World, and ended up threatening Haley Floyd with a deadly object. We learned today, and it was no dispute, that Cameron Poole on that day did in fact threaten Haley Floyd with a knife. We learned today that that knife that Cameron Poole used was very similar to Whit Bowman's. It looked a lot like the one that Whit Bowman had. We heard today from Rory Shelton that she saw Whit Bowman give Cameron Poole the knife that was used in the robbery the day before the robbery occurred. You learned today that from Ms. Shelton that Whit Bowman had told Cameron Poole that he was going to give him a knife for a job, and that Longstreet had to pay. We must prove to you that Whit Bowman was acting in complicity. Now, to act in complicity does not mean that you have to be the one who commits the robbery itself, but rather that you aid or counsel in the planning or the committing of the robbery. Well, by giving Cameron Poole the knife that was used to threaten Haley Floyd, she was acting in complicity. And by shutting off the lights in the Tunnel of Terror, and by putting the ride into blackout mode on that day, Ms. Bowman was acting in complicity again because she provided Cameron Poole the route to escape. Whit Bowman provided the plan. Whit Bowman provided the knife. Whit Bowman provided the means to escape. Members of the jury, When you look at today's evidence, it is clear. Whit Bowman was acting with complicity on August 30th of 2012 and aided Cameron Poole in robbing Rockterworld. Because of that, we must ask that you find Whit Bowman guilty of robbery in the first degree, as well as theft by deception. Thank you.